why was this movie made after the other movie? Hello, welcome to Just My Thoughts. I'm your host, Khaleel Ward. On this episode, I'll be talking about the new Netflix movie, Army of Thieves. It is a prequel to Army of the Dead, the Zack Snyder film. All of these characters are created by Zack Snyder. This movie in particular was not directed by Snyder, but it's his characters. The movie stars Natalie Emmanuel. She's in the Fast and Furious movies. And it's also the safecracker from Army of the Dead. If you've seen Army of the Dead, you should watch it because it's cool seeing his beginning. Because this is I'm like, this would have been a perfect first movie, and then another movie, and then maybe Army of the Dead. Because you see, his name is Sebastian, but he goes by Dieter in Army of the Dead, and you see why he actually changes his name. So he studies these safes that's made by this one guy, and he makes these four incredibly hard to crack safes, and it's called the ring cycle. And um, this woman comes and she wants to hire him, and it kind of reminded me of another Netflix movie called The Vault that I reviewed. I'll leave a link to it. But he's not a criminal, and these criminals hire him to join this gang. They want to pull off 3 heists in 96 hours. So they want to travel to Paris, Prague, and Switzerland because all these safes are being moved. Because in the background, the zombie outbreak is happening in America, and it hasn't gotten over to Germany. It hasn't gotten overseas yet. So they're trying to rob all these places while people are still distracted with the zombies. You don't see any zombies. He has dreams about zombies, but there's no zombies chasing them in this particular movie because it's happening in Nevada and everything. They showed on the TV a couple of times. So you have Gwendolyn. She's in charge. And then you have Sebastian, the safecracker. You have Karina. She's the master hacker who's in the van doing all the computer stuff. You have Rolf. He's the getaway driver. And you have this guy named Brad Cage, who's the all-around action person who can do all the fighting. And they are trying to rob these different banks all across the world. And he's the only one who could crack these safes because he's studied this guy so much, and that's who they believe in who can actually crack it. The safe cracking is pretty cool. The way they go inside the safe, and you see as he's turning the dial and everything, how the mechanics lock into place. It's cool when that happens. And the safe designs are really cool because the first safe is real simple and easy. Then the other one is when you make a mistake, the lock goes into the safe, and it he mentions if I make another mistake, it'll lock forever. So the safe designs were cool. Him cracking the safes were cool. But it's it's hard to say what kind of genre it is. It's some comedy, but it's not overly funny. It's not really an action movie. There's adventure because they're driving they go in different locations, but it's it falls in the mid. It blends all of those in a little bit, very little, at a time, because Dieter, he's not a thief. So of course he's scared when it's time to, commit these crimes. And that aspect of it is funny. They do the whole, you've seen it in other heist movies before, especially Ocean's 11 and 12, when they're talking about how everything is going to happen. In this particular film, they do that, but that's the real run through of the entire heist. So that was something different. But again, we know the fate of this character in the movie that came before it. So I don't understand why we get this now, and have this little army universe right now with Dieter in both of these movies. He was the most interesting character in Army of the Dead because he was weirded out, he was funny, and he was really needed to crack the safe. In this movie, and again in this movie, he's very important, and he's the one who's asking all the questions, and he's confused about what's going on, and he's worried about everything. And he's a good character. But again, this movie coming after Army of the Dead and everything we've seen, it kind of doesn't make sense. It's a good prequel. It'd have been better if it would have came out before, because you see the zombie apocalypse happening in the background in a different location. So then if you had another movie after this and showing the zombie apocalypse like getting bigger, that would have been cool. And then eventually, he's trying to find the fourth safe, which he does in Army of the Dead. When they find him, they like show him the blueprint, and that's why he gets overly excited, because he's been looking for this particular safe, and you find all that out in this movie. And it's just, I don't know, I don't know. This should have been the first movie. It's over 2 hours. It could have been cut by 30 minutes, honestly. But the movie it's okay, especially if you like following this character. And I enjoyed following Sebastian, aka Dieter, around. He's a cool character. The rest of them, a little weird. But I like watching him and just cracking the safe and the excitement he had with cracking these safes and how much it meant to him, going forward. But overall, you don't have to rush out and see it. Especially if you didn't like Army of the Dead. I didn't like Army of the Dead. I just seen this guy and I was like, okay, I liked his character, so I'll check it out. But it's on Netflix. Army of Thieves. If you want to watch it, it's no rush. But if you do see it, please let me know what you thought about it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Deuces.